You can hear what twice?
Theme song.
You have two streams open in the background. That's why. I do not know.
No, I have one stream open.
It seems all fine to me. Yeah, we have been
We are
for a
live?
while. Everything seems fine on my side.
Okay. Yeah, now we. Audio test before we start.
Audio test. Yes.
Hmm?
Can you hear?
Audio sometimes. Are you implying by any chance that I do not take care of all my audio sources?
Okay, I can hear everyone
Can
now.
hear.
Yeah, what up?
Yes. What up?
What up is Reddit. Reddit is up.
We live every
No, we're not
day.
live on Reddit. I'm doing that right now. And you and Adi can start as is Nandemo
Keep
tradition.
reading the Reddit comments.
Yeah, can you please try it?
Yeah.
Can someone else read Twitch
I'm
comments?
starting it. Sid, how about you read Twitch comments, huh?
No, how about you stream in one place if you want me to read?
My
all
God,
that
you're
shit?
the one who said, yes, let's stream everywhere. It's fun. It's a nice idea.
No, I'm the one who said no.
No, you were like, yeah, let's stream everywhere. Wow.
I'd be totally cool if you only stream on YouTube.
Streaming
and
in so
all.
many places seems so fun. Let's go. Let's do it. And now he turns around on me and he's like, oh, yeah, oh.
Fucking Indian scammer over here scamming me live.
If anyone's a scammer amongst the three of us, Sid, it's definitely you. Like 100% you.
Chor ulta kotwal ko date. Fucking
I have no idea what you said, but I'm just going to assume that is what Indian scammers say all the time. So let's go.
The people who have to understand will understand.
And
what I
that
mean.
includes a grand total of absolutely
Bro, are you
nobody.
using fan art? You want to get sued over?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Is
ask.
that fan art?
That's why I don't let him.
Yeah, I told you to get the photos and you said no.
One job.
You said no. I literally told you to do one thing.
You fucked that
I
up
literally
too.
told you to do one thing.
He's so busy all day playing his fucking shitty Dota.
I was not even doing that. I was cooking today.
Hey, Mickey tells me you've been playing Aghanim's Rajman non-stop last week every single
Not
day.
non-stop. I've been playing. Okay, let's just skip past the fan art, I guess, and go into some other. Oh yeah, sure. Because stealing images from the anime and the manga are like completely fine, but fan art, oh heaven forbid we do that.
Yeah, that's fair use.
Okay, I don't have any other normal images. Okay, so we got to start with the fan art.
Dude, you can put it. Nothing will happen. You can keep it. I'm just fucking with you.
Okay.
You scroll through everything.
We're gonna talk.
Okay, never mind.
We're gonna talk about. Already keep an eye on Reddit. Oh my God, these fucking bots, dude. How do you
bots?
How do you stop hide user? Yeah, done. Yeah, just keep an eye on Reddit, Ardi. Thank you. Tell me if anything's going on.
Yep.
Well, anyway, welcome. We are going to be talking about To Your Eternity. Audi's watched the anime. Sid's here, and I've read the manga. Anyway.
I'm here for a while. I'm going.
Yeah, when Sid
Bye.
leaves, the stream ends.
Bye.
So, To Your Eternity. For those who don't know, To Your Eternity is an anime / manga where there is an orb which comes out of nowhere. And are we reading through the whole manga right now? Yeah, we might be because I'm going to be talking the most. So if you don't feel like listening to the whole thing, you can leave. Sid, why do you switch off your video? My God, absolutely fucking terrible. Anyway, yeah, To Your Eternity is where an orb is sent out into the world and it touches a rock and takes on
No, but for the wait, bro. For the people who haven't caught up, we'll talk about whatever we have read till, and then spoiler alert. Then you can continue.
But yeah, the orb that touches a rock and then becomes a rock, and then the moss grows on it and takes on the form of moss.
Like a sentient.
Yeah, and then a wolf dies on it, and then it takes on the form of a wolf, and the wolf goes on to. It's shown that the wolf is the friend of this little pet of this boy over here.
What a spoiler-free this thing.
And then he takes on the form of the boy eventually.
Basically,
that is literally how the story starts. You can't like what. And then it's a story of how this being goes on in life.
It's a being that responds to certain stimulus and sort of grows with these stimulus. It takes on forms of other life forms, so to speak, that interact with it.
True. Since you've read the manga and you've caught up, just give me a yes or no without spoilers. Did you find out what the hell that orb is?
Yes and no.
that doesn't help.
That doesn't help me either. I don't fucking know what to tell you aside from that.
Wait, then what is the yes part? Like, you know what it is, but you don't know where it came from? Like something like that?
You kind of, I would say you're close. Yeah, sure. Not exactly there, but not exactly there either. So you're like,
Is it related to the tree men or that weird, like that weird hooded figure who narrates?
yeah, the weird
shit?
hooded figure is like kind of key, is central to the whole thing. So,
I see.
Funny like prediction about
what is
him,
your
but I
funny
think-
prediction about
He's
him?
like the
Please,
magician, and
let's
that's like his
you predict it, and I will tell you
He's-
yes or no.
Is that like
He's the
his
guy behind the
experiment?
knockers.
I'm not. That like makes no fucking sense, Audie. That what makes no fucking sense.
What's
I figured
knockers?
he's the
Also,
one.
yeah,
who's
what's
planting
knockers? The knockers.
Yeah, knockers.
What's
The
knockers?
tree,
Are
yeah, the
those
tree men.
men?
You said yes, the
The
tree
tree
men.
men.
Yes, exactly, the
I
tree men.
They're
No,
like
he can't
empty
be
husks.
the guy, dude. He's helping him like beat those guys. Why would he be the guy?
I know. I figured he's like trying to. It's like trying to make an AI grow or something, and he's just putting obstacles in its way, and it's sort of overcoming these obstacles by itself. So I figured he's the one putting these obstacles
And
in
no.
front of him.
Dude, wait. Control 9K saying they explained it. So yes, but Brew is not big brain enough to
Eh,
understand.
no.
So no. When you say yes,
Are
I
you
know.
like freaking kidding me? They do not go all the way through with their explanation. It's a shitty explanation if that's if or I'm not big brain enough, but it's a shitty explanation. Like it's not enough of an explanation. It's just like, okay, I said it. Here is why it is, and just trust me, bro. Just trust me. That's all. And you expect it to go along with it after that. That makes no sense. But basically, what did you guys think? Sid, go first. You have like 10 episodes of content.
I actually was enjoying the show. Yeah, I actually really like a lot happened in the first episode. Like I expected that much to happen over a lot, but I'm happy that happened in the
Yeah,
first
because it's a bit like
And-
minuscule in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly, and the narration was really nice. Like it was important. It helped me understand a lot of things,
Yeah.
And it's also nice how throughout the episodes, it kind of reminds me of like
Did your voice die?
Mushishi and all these other anime. Did it die?
I'm not sure if it only died for me. Audie, can you hear
Yeah.
us?
Hello.
Okay, I
can
can't
hear
hear either of you, so that's a
Okay, you
problem.
can hear me.
Can you say something now?
Is our stream
Control.
working, Audi? Is our stream on?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Sid,
stream
just
is
say
on.
something. I'm assuming chat can
Yes.
hear you. So
Hello,
chat
hello.
can hear you.
I
Yeah,
can
you can
hear
go ahead.
Sid
I think
as
chat
well.
can hear you. If chat can't hear me, let me know. Yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
can hear you again now. Cool, everything works. Yeah. Would you say it is worth watching us Control
He said, I
9K?
can hear you now. Okay, and then he dies. But yeah, Control 9K says it's worth watching.
It is
Control
worth
9K.
watching. Yeah.
But yeah, and also it's like Mushishi in a way where like, or like the Mononoke where you see it's based around the dude, but it also concentrates on different stories of these different people that he meets throughout. At least so far, that's the idea I got, right?
Various
you have their own
storylines sort
stories
of
and
converging through. Yeah.
The role he somewhat plays like in their story, I guess.
Somewhat.
Yes, somewhat. but yeah, it was pretty nice. It's pretty chill anime, It's nice to listen to. I like the soundtrack. I didn't like
Chill,
the
he
opening and
says.
ending. But
I-
I like
Yeah, I skipped the opening and ending.
I wouldn't exactly call it chill, but because
the ending and opening were very
Yeah.
annoying for some reason. I couldn't even listen to it. I instant skip. Yeah. But otherwise it was pretty cool. And even the way he of course you're learning and there are these weird things like the tree men that he fights and stuff
Knockers.
out of these knockers that he fights which are outside these people.
Control
he meets
9K
throughout
says,
his
okay,
life,
then I'm a
right?
head out. If you're heading out, you might as well read the manga as well because it's pretty fucking good anyway. We go in peace. Yes.
But yes, it's you can listen for a while if you want. Like we aren't gonna spoil.
We are definitely going to spoil it instantly. Don't listen to him.
yes.
He's going to say something without realizing what a major spoiler it is, and then he's going to be like,
Hey, bro, how about you learn how to keep audience instead of dragging them away?
funny that you should say that.
Emu says, "What's going on, guys?
Who said it?
Huh? What?
Are you?" Universal Emu says, "What's going on, guys? Are you all from Mexico?"
No.
Yes.
I have family in Mexico.
That is
Mad
true.
respect, bros.
I am
My wife's
from-
family is from Mexico. Oh, you
Yes,
guys
yes.
must be. We must be from India.
No, I'm from Mexico.
We are.
Drew is
They're from India.
Veracruz. Audi is from
They're from
Mexico
India.
City.
Yeah, anyway.
No, Sid is from
No,
Uzbekistan. you see.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, I'm
He
from
went to
Oaxaca.
Kazakhstan, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh, no,
Hey,
but he
now
came
I'm in
back from the
Oaxaca.
dead, right?
Sid the Globetrotter, he keeps trotting around the globe. He
Yes,
plays
yes.
GeoGuessr a lot. Anyway, go ahead, Sid. You were saying.
But yeah, and also like it was like, you basically see him learn how to be a human, like as kids do. And it's interesting, like the different things he observes, how to taste, how to eat, and then he's learning script and stuff, like where I
Mm-hmm.
am, and then he suddenly starts, like after script, like you see how his learning like goes from like level 10 to level 50 like instantly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he knows so much instantly. And then at the stage I reach, he can make things that he's encountered, like fruits and like food and stuff, which reminds me of the, yeah, it remind me of, fuck, I forgot. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. It remind me of some
Universal,
other anime character. If I remember, I'll let you know. But
Universal Emu says mad respect to you, bros.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I don't know why, but
thank you so much.
thanks. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you. Thanks for joining in.
Yes.
Where are you from, by the way?
Stick around.
Yeah, where are
We
you
are talking
from?
about To Your Eternity.
To Your Eternity. If you haven't seen it, go check it out after this show.
I'm very surprised. Sid is usually the one who says, go right now. Don't watch this shit. Go right now. And today he's like,
Brew has something really juicy to say today, so you better stay
yeah,
to
I
listen.
had a lot of
Juice.
juice. Yes.
But based on the conversation, like the little conversation we had before this, I think all of us actually, I don't know. I think Brew enjoyed it. I don't know about Audi. We'll find out right now.
I
about
enjoyed it,
Audi.
yeah.
I don't know.
I told Ollie to read the
yeah,
manga
Brew
and he's like,
basically-
eh. I was like, Ollie, it's history. He's like, but it's fictional history. Eh. And I was like, what the fuck? Kingdom is fictional
Ollie,
history. And he's like, Kingdom real. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Oki was actually the. He's like, no, you know what? Oki is actually like a much smaller figure than shown there. I was like, so it's fictional. He's like, but still, eh.
Hey, Evan, what's the mountain queen? What's her name?
Yeah,
Yamato?
yeah,
Yamamoto?
that
What's
woman.
the
Yeah,
mountain queen? Yeah, she's fictional.
Yotanwa, huh?
Yotanwa, yes,
She's fictional.
So, yes. So, Adi.
But Audi only
Yeah,
likes
Audi, what
real
did you think
history.
about it?
Okay, I was.
I am dying.
You're dying?
I am dying like crazy.
Yes, we can hear you.
Adi,
We
are
can hear
okay?
you.
Hello?
Is Kerala too hot for you, Adi?
My net
Are
just
you having a heat
tanked
stroke?
like crazy. Holy
Okay, anyway,
shit.
Sid, you go on. Audi's fixing his net. Okay, he's
I'm
back. He's back.
I'm back.
But yes.
Oh, somebody say something like you.
Yes, I didn't really get around to
I'm
reading the
waiting for
manga because
Audi.
I was also
asked him a
lazy.
question. Audi,
I
how
barely
are you
heard
today?
what you
Can
said,
you
but yes.
hear me? I will ask Audi, did you enjoy it?
Fuck yes.
Tell me.
I did enjoy it. It was nice to see how the learning process of this new creature went about. He tried to learn how to walk. He tried to learn how to, do all the little things in life. He even had to learn how to eat, which was a very interesting chapter in and of itself. The whole march teaching him how to use his hands, fucking opposable thumbs. Very interesting to watch something like that. Learn all these things because I never really, how do I exactly say it? See someone like learn that shit, like.
Yes, Audi, wait till you
First-
have
Yeah, Audi has never seen a kid, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audi is like, little
Yeah,
humans, what are
Have you
those?
Yeah.
No, but then it does. It's fucking. The guy is eating off the ground, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
because-
this little girl is like, "You
Yes,
use
'cause
your
babies have like
fingers."
manners, babies use like knives and
Yes.
forks to eat, right?
Babies are like, dear sir,
Yes.
I have appeared to have dropped a spot on the floor. Could you clean it up immediately,
Yes.
please?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not exactly
Like-
what I meant, but sure.
Sir, this is the butter knife. Can you pass me the fish knife or some shit
Fish
like
knife,
that?
yes.
Universal Emo says, "I'm from Hawaii. Allow her to you
Hey,
guys.
aloha.
Aloha. Peacemates."
Hawaii is damn
that's
cool,
cool
yeah.
as hell.
And we also like it for the Japanese influence. Sid's like, I could hear Sid's excitement
And-
when he said, Hawaii.
Hey, Japanese, Filipino, like mostly lots of Southeast
Yeah.
Asian influence.
But yeah,
So it's
welcome.
cool.
Glad you could join us from Hawaii. But yeah, we go on.
He said peace. He's gonna leave, but yes, fun because they're small thing, learning all these new things, gaining forms through fighting, gaining forms through pain and all sorts of emotional responses. Was an interesting concept to see in a TV show. First time I'm watching something like this, I guess.
Did you guys learn any Japanese when she was teaching you?
No, I already knew all that.
No.
Fucking hell.
No, he didn't.
Hey, the wolf literally goes arigato. I know what arigato means.
Oh, yeah.
And Saga.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, let's move on to something that let's move on to people you guys know. This woman, I'm assuming you both know the woman who is on the screen
We're on a delay,
like
so you'll
3,
have to like let us know before.
1. Okay, 3, 2, 1. This woman, check out the stream right now.
Parona.
Oh, this what's her name?
What?
Porana.
Parona.
Already literally said Parona, and it's like Corona, yes.
Porona.
I didn't hear it. But yes.
Yeah, what do you guys think of her?
What about
I'm just asking. I literally have like 1% of things to question you about, and that's like 3 pictures in this list here, you know. So I just want to know your thoughts about the characters and all that before I go on and explain a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed like a very
What? Tell me, Adi.
no. She seemed like a very strong character, and I figured she'd be like another character who would sort of set out and try to find this guy Fushi to like may help him grow or some shit. I honestly I didn't expect her to die off that soon. I will say that much.
That's a spoiler because Sid doesn't know she's dead.
Sala.
तो
I
देखना
can't
फिर
even
इतना
say
spoiler है तो
shit because. But yes, I know I'm kidding. And so I didn't know she died. I didn't know that you see her later. But yeah, she was interesting in the beginning. You saw her change because of Machi, her sister.
Yeah.
Because first she was thinking about getting back to the village, right? And she was like, yo.
Yeah.
Like even though Machi was like the spirit, like bear. I don't know if it's a spirit bear or not.
It's a bear. It's not a spirit bear.
It's a bear. It's a proper fucking.
That's not a proper bear. That's a huge ass
No,
fucking
in
bear.
that it's not like a spirit realm bear.
It's just a big ass bear.
But it's a big ass bear. So in the beginning, she was like, like of course she was like, yo, I'm gonna kill this and take it to my family and they'll accept us because she didn't consider the thought of him transforming, and then you saw a side of it. She was like, oh, I'll think for the better of my sister, but not for myself. And then once Machi's like, yo, don't kill her. She's like, okay, fuck it. We'll go and, figure it out. And then, oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I forgot.
She's a sort of stand-up character in and of itself. She doesn't...
Yeah, it was pretty... And even on the chariot on the way, like... I was like, yo, they escape pretty easily. Like, they're just going to go, like, nothing's going to happen. And then suddenly, I'm like, okay, obviously they're following her. Because they don't show it the whole way until she's, like, holding the armor and the arrow comes in, right?
Defense was surprisingly lax in the city in that one bit. Like no guards were around except for the ones that Nanaha was chasing these guys.
Who's Nanaha?
Aside from that, is that her name? The blue cloak lady?
Ayase.
The Fushi scratches.
Ayase.
But yeah, that part was interesting to see how she thought about.
Well,
we have
a photo of Hayase somewhere over here. Yep, there you go. Okay, you know what? We can talk about Hayase a little later. But yeah, what did Sid? You got to March. March. I'm assuming you know March because March is like the first.
Yeah, amazing character. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
do you know March
Very
dies?
sad.
Yes.
I cry.
Okay. Yes.
I cry. Very sad.
Very big cry.
I know. I saw. I'm up to the part where what's his name?
Gugu. Yes, the next picture I have here.
Gugu.
Gugu, the guy in the mask. Yes.
Yeah, that's a very cool mask, by the way. Chameleon mask. Right?
Oh, Gugu's mask gets an upgrade afterwards. But spoiler alert, Gugu also dies.
I know Gugu dies because I'm like, I figured out the pattern where like the important character he's interacting with has to die for him to.
You're completely wrong.
So the minute he met,
completely wrong.
Like, I know he was gonna.
It happens twice or thrice.
I knew he was gonna turn into Machi. I knew he was gonna turn into Gugu the minute like I saw him interact.
Yeah, but why would he turn into Gugu? You don't even know why he would turn into Gugu.
Because I knew he would die, and then I don't know why, but I know like Gugu would die and he would become Gugu.
Yeah.
There's like an air of certainty around certain characters because they show like certain values. You know, like Gugu is
Yeah.
supposed to be very honest. You know, fucking strong even in the face of adversity sort of character. So makes sense that you'd get that sort of feeling that
Yeah.
he'd be the
And
first one to be consumed.
I saw the scene in the picture also, but I haven't figured out what happens to them. Like, does he finally show his face and tell her the truth about what happened or not? The last I saw him, he gave the ring to like his brother, and he's like, "Yo, get rich off of
Yeah.
this or some shit like that."
Mhm.
Yeah, that part. But yeah, when like you get lost in like these little with these people's stories, right? With him involved in it, like
Yeah.
he does, and it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
You're just playing like you're just being like Fushi at the end of the day. You're just being another observer, just sort of
And
learning other things.
Yeah, they show interesting things like
Gucci is not
how
an
is, like,
observer
love.
at all.
Yeah, he's not an observer.
Yeah,
he like
actively participates and actively
Yeah,
brings about
participate, but
disruption
then-
wherever he goes.
like even like the stage that Machi and all got to wouldn't have happened without like Fushi. Like she would have just been sacrificed to the bear and like GG instantly, and then the story would have ended. And even this guy would probably just be working there or something. And but yeah, also you see like after his face gets destroyed, how he like I'm gonna stay in this house forever. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna probably keep working here forever. And then because of what he finds out, like the old man did to him, he leaves and starts showing his face and like accepting the fact that he's a monster. And
They never really showed
No,
that.
they never
face,
show
did
the
he?
face.
Like,
Even in the
They don't know.
even in the
So they
manga till
never-
the end, they don't show the face.
even in the manga, right? Okay.
he looked like gay,
My
Kitaro,
God.
if any of you remember, with the round.
Yeah, basically the same thing happens with Gucci. Gucci,
But before that, I just I'm excited to find out like what happens with him and like what's the girl's name? Rini?
Reen.
yeah,
Gugu
Rien.
and Reen. Yeah, what happens with them also? I'm
Well,
really
I can
interested.
answer all of that and more, but be spoilers. So
But yeah, what were you saying, bro?
no, like the same thing happens with Gucci. Gugu eventually returns to the house with the old man, who is. I think I have the old man's picture. I'm pretty sure I have the old man's picture somewhere. I just have to scroll through
The
and
guy
find it.
puts some organ inside him
the
to
third
make
image.
human
Yeah.
alcohol.
So that turns out to be
Yeah.
a very good thing for Fushi later.
I see.
In the most hilarious way
For
Fushi.
But yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
Okay, I
knocker
see.
comes out as a wood.
Hey, wait. The manga actually looks pretty.
I will show you the
nice.
manga later. Shut the fuck up. But anyway, so the knocker that fights
Dude,
Fushi.
Wait, go above that 1 second. Just go above that image. I want to see that.
I can't show that without heavy spoilers.
I just show me the trees. Like I want to see how that looks like it's shaded.
Where
very well. I just wanna
trees?
see
I
it.
don't. I can't even look through the photos without spoilers. No, we go to spoiler.
No,
we-
the picture above the old man just shows.
There are no trees.
I want to see.
It's a
What is it?
mountain.
need to
I
see
can't
it.
show it because it has a big spoiler written right over there.
Okay, that looks
Yes.
very cool.
Christ's sake. It's like literally right over there. Somebody's dead. Anyway.
Don't worry, I don't read it. I'm very slow at reading English. I totally didn't read those words.
Yeah. People die, basically. A lot of people
Yes.
die. But basically, what the old man does is he puts alcohol in Gugu's belly, right? And
Yes.
the knocker that comes after Fushi is made out of wood. So Gugu
Oh,
uses the
yes.
alcohol to basically puke it out and uses fire to burn down the knocker to help Fushi.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Right now, that's what's happening right now. Gugu is fighting the knocker, but I haven't seen the alcohol part. Yes.
Ah.
Christ, I thought he
so
already
that's
saw the
what I
alcohol
saw.
part and he's like, for Fushi, how does that work, huh? But
No. I saw
So-
like Gugu just step in like right now. Fight
yeah,
the
but
knocker.
what happens
Okay,
is
okay.
Gugu and Fushi live together with the old man, and Gugu becomes like really like ripped. He like, becomes like this full on macho fighter man, so that he can help Fushi whenever needed. And Fushi becomes way too comfortable in this place and doesn't transform for like 4 years or something. And he grows
My
old.
God.
You can see him grow hair on
He
his
grows
face and
old,
all that.
essentially. Yeah.
And then
Oh.
what happens is that
Wait, so this thing ages?
yeah, he ages, but he can always revert
Yeah.
back to his
Technically, he
his
shouldn't
original
age
age.
because he transforms. Yeah. But because he transforms.
So if he doesn't transform,
because
basically,
he didn't
he will keep
transform.
aging in that body. He can die, but he can't die because
If he ages
because
naturally.
he's
can't die.
immortal. He can't die.
He just ages.
No, so
he
if
just
he-
ages.
No,
man.
he just
So
if he's an old man, he continues being an old man. He doesn't die.
Oh, he'll become
Yeah, he'll just become older and
till he
older.
becomes like a pile
No,
of
he'll just be
flesh.
like a walking.
It's
like
like
he'll
a-
look like this old man, but older, I guess.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, makes
And he
sense.
can revert back to whatever form
It's
he
like
wants whenever he wants.
he has only one. He has only one image of the kid from the North Pole or wherever the fuck that was,
Mhm.
and that's the image that is in his head. That from that image he can grow old, but if he ever transforms again, he can only go back to that image. He can't go back to old North Pole kid.
And also, what you say, what you ask, actually does happen, and just why I know the answer to that. But either way, so what happens is, after 4 years, the knockers are like they become a little smarter, and instead of coming out as wooden creatures, they come out in the form of rock monsters. So
Wait, so are these guys hunting
yes,
Fushi like
yes,
specifically? And they keep coming once every like arc,
no, they
I
come.
guess?
They come. So the rate that they come in usually comes X number in 3 days. So they take 1 day. 1 day they leave him alone because they're trying to find out where he is. The second day they set up everywhere. They put roots into the ground and make sure they can spread around. And the third day they attack, and it can be any number of attacks per day. So the longer he stays in one place, the worse it is for him.
Sad
Yes,
Vegetable 8431 says, "What's this?"
It's just random.
We are talking about an anime called To Your
Pretty
Eternity.
fun. You should check it out.
Very interesting. Very
Yes.
interesting
And,
anime. Thanks for tuning in.
And here's the girl Rianne or whatever.
But bro, before you continue, you didn't give your thoughts.
Yeah, I have a lot of other thoughts, brother. I will explain a few things.
No, like
Love it. Go check it out. Read the manga. It's amazing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, here's this girl Rianne.
And the
She
ring,
basically
yes.
takes the ring. Gugu gives, like, she finds out who Gugu is, obviously, and all that, and then he gives her the ring, and then she keeps the ring forever because he dies, and she like dies unmarried. She's like, I love Gugu too much. I never marry anyone else. I die.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me quickly scroll past this because spoilers. Yeah. Hi, we can talk about Hayase now. Here is Hayase. I will show this image first because it is creepier, and this actually happens.
So with her face.
No,
scratched?
with her leaking fushi.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
big.
I remember that. Mhm.
So I thought this was just like a weird sex thing they added in, but it actually made a whole storyline out of it. I was very impressed. It actually goes on for a long time. This one thing.
So it's not just a creepy.
No, she is a creepy, crazy character. Don't get me wrong. She's very creepy, very crazy. When Fushi, she
Okay.
sleep touch Fushi, okay, and then she like licks him because she's obsessed with him, and then she gets naked and wants to have his babies. I kid you not. She basically is a borderline rapist but she doesn't succeed. But she basically tries to.
She attempts.
And the thing is,
So basically, in the scene where they show Fushi fight the spirit bear, they show Yanome be very impressed with his fight, so to speak, right? And from that point forward, she's just been pursuing Fushimi just for this purpose alone, for
For
roping him.
licking him.
so
Yeah.
But yes, how is this?
yeah,
a
I will explain.
storyline?
So basically, Odi can talk a little bit about this character, Tonari.
John?
that looks like this.
I'm moving. I'm
I don't
switching.
know what this
It's switching. Odi, you don't remember Tonari?
I
No,
remember Tonari.
Totoro.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tonari. Tonari is let's just say that the lead of the fourth story.
Give him some context first before explaining with the characters.
Yeah, Tonari is the lead of the fourth story that Fushimi finds himself on. Tonari basically is this thing like a person who works on a ship.
Okay.
She's like a 14-year-old kid that is working on a ship, and they come from an island full of criminals. And Fushimi just happens to be going on a ship, but then Tonari sees an opportunity, so to speak, in the beginning, and sort of coaxes him into another ship. Telling him like, "Oh, okay, here is your room, sir. You can go in there." But in reality, it was another slave ship destined for this island, in particular, this criminal island, so to speak.
Ah.
And Tonari was obviously trying to just make like a quick buck off of him. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know what he could do. She was just like, "Oh, okay, seems like an
So
opportunity."
he's alone. Like
No, he's with an old woman. He's with the old woman.
Okay.
He is with the old woman that was with that was with them in with March and Parana.
The
Pioran.
old
her
woman's
name.
name is
Pioran.
also like
Pioran. He
Piccolo or
literally
something,
said
right?
it again right now.
Pioran.
Pioran.
Piccolo.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
Piccolo, yes.
But yes.
On franchise. But yeah, anyways, they arrive on the island and it's discovered that they were all slaves. They were all turned into slaves, anyways. And they were basically being sold off into labor in this criminal island, or they were being sold off into this fighting tournament that
Ah.
basically decided the chief of that whole island.
See,
Very
tournament
interesting
arc. You
procedure,
love
but-
tournament arcs.
It's literally a
In
tournament.
the way
It's not a
it's a
tournament
tournament arc, Audi, but it's not in the way you'd imagine. You know how Fushi wins?
Yeah.
So they basically have like a
doing
everybody
fucking
fight, okay?
nothing.
Like all free for all. Last one standing is the one who goes
Yeah.
into the tournament. And Fushi gets trampled on by everybody, okay? And he's just like lying down in the entrance. He's like, and everyone thinks he's dead. And then finally one guy is like, oh, this guy is going to be the champion. And then Fushi gets up, he's like, oh, fuck, that was so annoying.
And then Tonari is
my
like,
God.
hey,
Yeah.
that one dude is standing over there. You're not
And then
one
this
yet, you
dude
know."
like stabs,
And
he
then
throws an axe at his head, he stabs him through the heart, he stabs him in the stomach, and Fushi is just standing there like, oh god, I don't want to fight. And this dude's like, what the fuck? Is this guy living through?
No.
Like, fuck.
No. That's not what Fushi did. Fushi was just standing there like, fuck, do I reveal my power to them? Do I just lay down flat and die? Not realizing that 15 minutes
Yeah.
have gone by with him just
With
standing
an
there,
axe
like,
straight
with, like,
into his
20
head and
weapons
a
embedded into
spear
him.
straight into his
Basically.
heart.
My
And
God.
then that guy is just like,
And
oh
after
no,
that, he just
I
fucking
can't
comes back like the Undertaker.
and then he just lays dead so that this immortal monster doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
He could have just become like the
Yeah, but
bear,
this happens everywhere. Okay, everyone just
could
keeps
have.
attacking him, and Pushi's like, "Listen, I'm giving you a chance.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I'm giving you a chance to live. Just don't fight me. I'm giving you a chance to live."
Hey,
Fushi basically gains the good morals of both Gugu and March, and
Yeah.
then he sort of takes on the more good.
And then there's
personality
also
from that point forward. He starts
Hey,
understanding
once
good and
again,
evil.
is it like the Doctor Stone tournament arc, like the small like
no. So the thing is, it just very quick. This thing's where they show Pushi's compassion more than
Yeah.
his fighting abilities.
Mhm.
oh,
And this photo
It's
right
like
now
another
is
growing point
the
for
one
him.
where this is when he realizes that Parona dies and he manages to morph into her and he uses her form for fighting.
Oh.
And this
Oh,
arrow in
damn.
his hand is actually being shot at the other guy who is giving up because he can't fight Fushi. He knows he can't win, and Fushi is stopping him from certain death. But basically,
wow.
okay, so basically Tonari heads Fushi. They have a bunch of people. The knockers come and attack. But before that, Hayase comes in, and she is the final boss of the tournament. And she just knocks Fushi out with that same sleeping dart thing.
Sleep
So
dark
she
thing.
Oh.
that is
is
where the
also
rope scene.
later
She
reveal
tries to
that-
rope him like in
No,
the
she takes him to a room after the tournament, and that's when she tries to rope him in with the
Yeah.
picture
Okay,
that
okay.
is on right now.
Wait, is the bear the strongest form Fushi
It
has
depends
so
on
far?
what you say,
Pretty
because
much, yeah. The
so it
bear is
depends
like
on
the highest
it depends on
damage.
the bear is like AoE damage and
Yeah, like
But
but,
the
the bear, the wolf, right? That's all. Because I don't think Fufu like helps
it
him
does.
fight. And Archie's
Gugu
just
is
for
strong
climbing,
as
right?
fuck.
Oh, Gugu,
Fufu
Gugu is
is
strong.
March is
Oh
surprisingly
wait, he
very
becomes
useful.
Yeah,
buff. Gugu.
Yeah,
what?
Gugu becomes damn buff
Yeah,
He
later.
becomes buff Gugu because
Before he dies, he becomes
Gugu,
buff
when
as
he
shit.
takes on Gugu's form, he's buff. No?
Wait, so when he's fighting later, what's the first form? The wolf.
He just
Or
keeps
no?
changing according to the
No, so
situation.
normally he always has his winter boy form on him, but if he sort of like takes a situation and sort of calculates what form is the best. In the beginning, you see him use the spirit bear form a lot,
Yes.
but then you also kind of see him fuck up many times because he realizes later on that the spirit bear is a very large target and the knockers can just easily kill him from like a blind spot that even he can't really
Hey,
predict.
all the knockers have the same power. Like they can steal that shit.
Generally,
Yeah, basically.
They can take on various forms. Like knockers first turned out to be
No,
good,
knockers can't
but then
take
later
on
on
various forms. They're basically these orbs
not
with
take on
roots, and they infiltrate other beings. So when they steal a form from Fushi, they can use that form. but they can't take on a form of their own except for their base form, which is basically
No. Form in the sense like an element.
they
or
don't
like
have an
another
element.
power
They
of
don't.
nature, so to speak. First they
No.
take on wood, then they take on
They
stone.
literally
and
just take on whatever is around you. It doesn't matter what it is. They can become humans, as you saw. They create zombies basically. Basically what happens is after
there's like a zombie.
after Hayase tries to rope him, these kids save him, and then all the dead, because it's a criminal area with like a regular tournament arc being held where people die. They just throw the dead into this giant pit, and the knockers infiltrate the dead, and basically there's a zombie apocalypse. And Fushi is forced to kill Tonari's friends because they become zombies, leaving only Tonari and one more guy remaining alive. And then he fucks off. He's like, it's too dangerous. I'm fucking off from here. Bye bye.
Okay, no. Wait. Before we end this bit, I will say this much: Tonari, when the competition does get over and Hayase does win, she bestows her title.
Hey, that's all stuff they can learn. That's not important to the story. This part we're talking about.
I'm saying like a small grievance I had with Tonari itself, like the decision she made. So she gets the title of chief, and chiefs can choose to leave the island if they want to, so to speak. Now, she obviously takes the choice to leave, and she can choose up to 700 people she can leave with.
Mm-hmm.
So logically, she takes her friends.
How many people on the island? 700 seems like a lot for
thousands and thousands of people.
Like some fucking thousands of them.
I see. Yeah.
These guys just pick up random people from the cities and stuff and turn them into slaves. I'd imagine there'd be like a good population in there.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, she can take 700 people on one ship and fuck off to wherever the fuck she wants. Be free. They do that. She takes her friends and goes. And for some reason, and this is at the expense of Fushimi living back at the island so that,
it's the good old take the leader, but not the followers type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sacrifices himself for the betterment of the others. Mm-hmm. But then Tonari has this fucking dumb shit decision where she chooses to leave the boat and sort of save him.
Which is not a dumb shit decision. They show why Fushi needs the rest of them.
I mean,
the knockers literally attack and almost DD Fushi before, and he would have died without the help of Tonari and her friends.
Yeah, why won't she save him? Like,
yeah, that's not a dumb shit decision.
I feel he managed by himself quite a few times. I'm pretty sure he could have managed himself this one time as well.
He literally almost died each time without help from an external source, except for the first time. Like, he needed Gugu. The second time, the knockers, the rock knockers, literally ran away with most of his forms. Then he needed Tonari and her friends. Then he needed Tonari and her friends again. So, he would have died for sure without them. And that was one of the teachings of the Man in Black, saying that, you need to have friends. You need to have people you can rely on. You can't do this alone. You need to keep evolving. You need to keep becoming stronger.
Yeah.
No, his teaching was that if in order to get stronger, he needs to fight the knockers and ensure that he learns something from it. If he chooses to go with the friends,
he said, don't stay in one place. Keep moving, make more friends, learn more things. That's how you beat the knockers.
And also, first, as far as I saw, in the beginning, he would only turn into shit that cuts him, like the blood thing. But later, it was anything he could remember.
Yeah.
It started happening, right?
He still needs a physical stimulus in order to remember something. So at one point, they show him trying to find a pen and paper. And he sort of basically assaults a kid, takes a pen and paper from him, fucking rubs it on his skin, and then he can make pen and paper out of his hand.
So he needs to
touch it, basically, yeah. And this could mean anything. Like, he could write a note, and he could touch it and then burn it afterwards, and he could create that note separately.
Yeah, so basically...
So he could create
but the fire, he couldn't
yeah, he can't make the fire.
Right?
He can't make the fire. He can't make elements.
So basically, he's
for some reason.
The old woman. He lives with her. And then she gets heavy dementia and she goes crazy, and she finally dies. And he basically keeps a note with everyone's names on it so that he doesn't forget them. But then the thing is, every time a form is removed from him, he can't remember them even if he remembers the name. So if someone tells him the name, if he reads the name, if he reads literally Mark, then he'll be like, I don't know the name. I don't remember anything about this person. I can only remember a random form, but nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
he can remember
Holy
voices
shit.
to some extent,
That's
but he
freaking
can't
crazy,
remember.
dude. That there you
Yeah.
forget once it's removed from you. That's sad,
Yeah.
actually. You forget all the
He
experiences
remembers
and
literally everything
everything.
except their face,
Holy
which
shit!
is
Order
very
decision.
terrifying. Yeah.
That is sad. I like it, but
Okay.
it's sad.
Hey, Brew, quick question. I haven't seen past this thing, old lady's death, Yoran's death, and this. What happens to her? She requests the Black Hooded guy to turn her into something useful. What happens
Nothing
to her
happens.
in
They
the end?
haven't shown her after
Does
that.
They haven't shown her even in the manga as well. I see. Because in the anime they show the Black Hooded figure sort of taking her before she reaches heaven and turning her into one of those orb thingies again.
Yeah, but nothing has been revealed so far, at least. But now,
so is she going to be?
no clue. I have no idea what she's actually going to be doing. Maybe she'll come. I don't see her being a part of this thing at all. I think it's just like he debated her. He's like, yeah, I'll make you useful and like bitch off to heaven with you. Fuck off. I'm done with your shit.
But even that's like an interesting line. He said, "On the way to heaven, I'll catch you." Like, what the fuck? This dude fucking lives between worlds or something.
He's basically a god.
Picking people up like, yep. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's basically a god. He created Fushi, so he's basically a god.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go into extreme spoiler territory, and I'll move past this as fast as possible because I don't really see how any of you are going to understand too much. But basically, Tonari and that one dude escape, right? And then Fushi after.
Wait, so where does the where does
after the old woman dies?
So is it after?
After the Tonari.
arc or during the?
So the old woman dies, and then he is shown to be grown up, and then it ends. So basically, he's been living for 4 decades away from humanity, so that knockers can't attack anyone. So the knockers only attack him in an isolated island, and he keeps killing them, and then he manages to eat them as well. And the man in black says the knockers are now started attacking other people because they know that you are ready to fight them. So they're attacking other people to make you go there and fall into their trap. And he goes there and he meets a very familiar person. I will show you the photo. Sorry, it is there is too much of a.
Is it Tonari?
There is too much of a. Where the fuck is this woman? Okay, I don't know. Okay, basically, I probably forgot this one photo, but he meets a woman who seems very familiar. Okay, and it turns out that Hayase had children, and Hayase gets a knocker in her hand, okay, in her arm, okay, and that knocker is passed down to her children as they give birth to her.
What do you mean gets a knocker?
A knocker infiltrates her arm.
So
it just spreads roots in her arm and just stays there.
No, wait. In the zombie arc, the knockers basically find skin.
That's why I said it can create roots into you. Anything.
Yeah, I saw it doing that when it was fighting Fushi, but I didn't know it can like stay there like
it stays like a parasite for Hayase.
That's basically
so the thing is the knocker really wants to get close to Fushi, and Hayase really wants to get close to Fushi. So they're like, okay, cooperate, okay, we can get to him, okay, you let me bang him, and then you get to do whatever the fuck you want with him. Like, I just need to bang him, dude. That's literally all I want in life.
Oh, I see. Now it's like fucking Animorphs.
I guess.
Yeah, like Animorphs is basically like these aliens that get into your and in your brain and they control people to do things. Yeah, basically.
But here the thing is, it's not necessarily a control. It's like more like they're talking to each other. So
so it's like
either one can make the decision and they just like go along with it. So it turns out that the knocker is passed down to Hayase's children, and they always make sure they're women so that they can have children with Fushi. Okay.
And the knocker is
the same knocker. It's the very same knocker.
Ensure that.
Same knocker, exact same.
Latches onto the child. Oh, okay.
The knocker ensures that on a DNA level, all children are women.
No. You can have men, but then the successor will always be a woman. Because she needs to sleep with Fushi and have his kids. So.
I see.
Oh, that's why it made her like Fushi.
I'll just scroll down here. I think. Yeah. So the weird thing is, because the knocker is in their arm, they live very short lives. So, like, a literal child comes to Fushi and says, Fushi, I want to have your children.
My God.
And Fushi is like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, what the fuck?
So after that, he even asked them, like, yo, what, that's your goal? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, so if you achieve this goal, would you leave me alone? She's like, yeah, I don't know, but I think my grandmother and mother would be really happy. And then they sleep together, but because she's a child and he's like basically a child, they both are just sleeping like right next to each other. And then she's like, yes, thank you, Fushi. Now I can go home with my head held high.
Wait, so they're just fucking.
Yeah, they're just sleeping, and they're like, and Fushi's like, but it's so weird. I've slept with so many people, and they've never gotten pregnant. And the man in black is like, if you want to go to town and do it, you can actually try your reproductive organs work. And he's like, huh? Go to town and do it? What does that mean? And this guy's like, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And he's like, fuck it. I'm not going to teach this guy about the birds and the bees. But this woman, this Hayase's descendant, okay, basically tries to poison, like, again, put him to sleep and then rope him, okay? And that's when this woman comes to help him out.
Oh.
And, Artie, would you like to venture a guess as to who this woman is once you see her photo on the screen? Which should be like now, yeah.
Okay.
This is Tonari.
Fucking hell, Sid. I asked Audi, not you.
No,
Yeah, I said
design.
Tonari earlier.
Yeah,
as
you
well,
said
but
earlier.
I said
You said
Tonari, was the
Tonari
woman
would
coming
come back
yeah.
later, but that's never mind. So basically, Tonari spent the 4 decades exposing herself to poison over time. Okay, different types of poisons. So she eats like a poisonous fish little by little until she can take the whole fish, and she makes sure she's immune to all poisons that she can find and immune to the sleeping dart that the Hayase family uses. And then she dies and gives her body to Fushi so that he can be immune to all these things. So he can never be poisoned, he can never be put to sleep, he can never be...
My God, that is freaking OP, dude.
Fucking
Holy shit.
commitment, holy
She
shit.
became like the doctor from like Hitman Reborn.
Yeah, basically.
Gave
What
it
the
to
fuck? So she basically dedicates herself just to make Fushi more OP.
Yeah.
God damn.
That is insane. Wow, this
That
story
is
is
what the
developing like
fuck.
crazy.
And here's the thing I was telling you about. Here's why I like the Hayase part. The photo on the stream right now is basically the different successors of the Hayase family who come looking for Fushi. So they're
my
all like
God.
women who are trying to... So the entire thing is right. The knocker and the sheer force of will from Hayase, it just forces generations down the line to always go to Fushi's side and serve him and try to bang him. Like, that part is non-negotiable. Okay, you have to try to bang him. And they always go close to him.
I see.
So this continues on. This keeps continuing. And they all live short lives. So the knockers literally reduce that one knocker reduces their lifespan like crazy. And they all live very short lives. And
Wait, what happens if, like, you get Fushi's like kid, like he has the same, he's like an orb, because I don't, it's not.
he goes back. So if you remove all his forms, he goes back to an orb.
No, but if he gets a kid, what happens?
That's the thing. It's his reproductive organs work, but we don't know what happens if he has a kid.
Yeah, because that's like reproductive organs of
Of
like,
the thing, of the being he is, yeah.
Of the being he is. So of the guy, if he's a guy, of like any character that he becomes, of the old woman
basically.
becomes the old woman. I see.
And the way Fushi handles the situation is by taking on the form of Tonari, and since the Hayase's will is being passed down and Hayase hates Tonari, every time her successors see Tonari's face, they get pissed and leave. And then they come back later to bug him.
That is fucking genius.
And finally, there is a successor who is a guy.
I like the background.
Yeah, I think the manga is well drawn overall. The manga is pretty...
Yeah, it's very well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I've been seeing.
But yeah, so finally it becomes a guy. Okay, this guy's mother died before she could give birth to another child or a woman, basically. And this guy had to take on the successor title, and he becomes the 6th successor, and he becomes like the final successor in terms of the story. And she's like, listen, no homo. He's like, listen, no homo, okay? Like, I'm not into that kind of stuff. And Fushi's like, yeah, whatever. And then it ends up being like almost yes homo at the later stages, because he's like, damn, this Fushi guy really fucking good. Oh, damn, I really must get close to him. And this is another character. Okay, he's basically a prince, and he's outlandish as fuck, and he can see spirits. That's his power. and he goes after
Okay.
Fushi because Fushi has developed a reputation of being a devil that summons knockers to destroy the city. And there is
Oh.
this high cleric of Silira. I keep fucking up his name. Silira of the Church of Bennett, which is basically their version of their big bad church. And this guy is hunting
Oh, okay.
Fushi down like any church would with, devils. And you can see his name
Oh.
here: Bonchin, Nicoli, La Tasty, Pichuratis.
Wait, so in the
My
beginning
God.
they thought he's God.
Yeah, now they think he's the devil. And what happens is this guy, right? This Silira, he basically, so Fushi can make anything he touches, right? So this Bonchin, he realizes something very insane, which is that he can see spirits. So if Fushi makes a body of a dead person, and the spirit is still there, it can enter the new body and live life again.
Oh.
So
wait, Fushi can become the
Fushi
creator?
can become the creator technically, but the spirit has to be there for Fushi to work. So he does it with one person by mistake, and Bond realizes it. He's like, "Holy shit, this guy can revive the fucking dead!" And the cleric is like, "Okay, revive this priest. If you are really blessed by God, the priest will come back to life." So he makes a body of the priest, but the priest's soul had already gone to heaven and wasn't there to enter the body.
I see.
And he's like, "See, you just made another body. That is the work of the devil." And then he puts him inside a metal cage, okay, like a metal block, and then fills it with molten metal. So Fushi is like tormented for years like that. He's just like insanely
Oh my God, what
in
the
pain.
fuck?
And then he finally manages to escape. A lot of shit happens. And finally they're like, "Okay, you know what? I am here to help you guys." And then he helped save a city from the knockers. And the knockers like leave him a taunting message saying, "We're going to attack this city at this time." And then they prepare for the whole thing. And I will just show you.
Yeah, what the fuck? Wait, his name is Bonchin Nikolai La
Yeah.
Tasty.
La Tasty
Yeah.
Peach something.
The fuck?
Yeah, there's yeah.
I just saw that it's a manga by Yoshitoki Oima, and she's worked. You haven't seen us, but she's worked on Koe no Katachi, a Silent Voice, like a movie.
Yeah, I know Silent
think,
Voice.
that I'd seen before. Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty interesting now to think about the early stages because, like, I read when after Silent Voice, her mother was like a sign language interpreter, and that's why she made the Silent Voice, taking help.
Well,
and also here, the basic learning,
Yeah.
the words, like it makes
weirdly,
sense,
both
right?
this and a Silent Voice were I saw them in a meme recently, along with a few other ones.
What?
Okay, both these where it's like you think it's fun when you start it, and then it's just pain afterwards. Oh yeah, this is a better picture of Bon-Chain. He's supposed to be the prince.
He looks. Oh wow! Okay.
Okay, now-
Let's see. His crown is coming out of
Yeah,
his
now we
hair.
can talk about this. Okay, these three guys are they are like defenders, the main defenders of the city. Okay, Bon-Chain chooses them, and he basically tells them this: "You are going to die. Let me be clear. You are going to freaking die. But when you
My
die,
God.
make sure your spirit doesn't go to heaven. Make sure your spirit lingers around." And they're like, "What the fuck are you on about, dude? What drugs are you on?" And he's like, "Just trust me. If you die, make sure your spirit does not leave this plane of existence." Okay. And the Kohaku, the sixth officer of Ayase, he's also helping them out. And he's like, "Those three have died." And then so far, Fushi doesn't know he can bring back the dead. So he's just sitting there like, "Those three died. They were supposed to be like my best commanders. Holy shit, what do you mean they died?" And this guy's, and Bond is like, "Listen, Fushi, just trust me, bro. Make their bodies right now." He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? They're fucking dead. What am I going to do?" He's like, "Yo, make the bodies right now." And he makes the bodies and they come back to life because this guy specifically told them not to make sure the spirits don't leave.
Yeah.
And you know what they do? After this point, when Fushi realizes it, they basically take a gun and commit suicide so that Fushi can make a body on the other side of town and revive them. They basically kamikaze the fuck out of themselves to go around the entire city fighting.
What the fuck? That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
What a strategy.
In one scene, one of the guys is like, Fushi, it turns out the western wall needs some reinforcement. Can you send me there? And Pussy's like, sure. Take the gun, boom. It's like, blows up his head. And everyone around is like, oh my god, murder. And Pussy's like, nah, chill, he'll be fine. And he just fucking rips them out.
Dude, you think
What an
if you
insane form of teleportation.
What if you actually had to shoot yourself to teleport or kill yourself in some way to
Yeah,
teleport?
it would be so
somewhere?
insane, right?
That would be
And the thing is, like,
interesting,
I would never do
no,
that.
but the thing is, like, you literally died and come back to life. And you've seen your body like you're like, I am fucking dead. And then someone makes another body and you're like, hey, I'm alive again. And the thing is, like, Fushi remakes the entire city using his body, like his materials. So he's connected to the entire city. So he can literally create whatever he wants at any point, and he can teleport there himself. So at one point, they teleport outside the battlefield because these knockers are basically launching themselves from this location, destroys all the knockers there, and they're like, oh damn, dude, the city is so far away. And Pushi's like, oh yeah, I'll get some way to go back. And they're like, nah, they just kill themselves. And Fushi teleports back and brings them back to life there.
Hey, at this stage, right? Like, what is Fushi's like maturity level, like human wise, like common sense, all that stuff? Like, has it still reached like normal human?
No,
level?
he's much more than a human. Like, he's much smarter than.
Oh, okay, so he's
reached normal human
now.
By the time he reaches the Tonari arc, he's gained
Dude,
a
he's-
good amount of intelligence, and he can discern from good and evil. He can make like very complex.
Yeah, he's
human
literally
choices.
running a kamikaze battle. You know, you need to be like a big brained human for
That's
that.
true. Yes.
Yeah.
No, but does he
Economy
still,
add
does he
3539.
speak, like,
Yeah,
normally
everything. He
towards
speaks
the
very
end?
well. He learns Japanese properly from the old woman. And also, so
Wow.
what happens here? Yeah, sorry, what?
Guy on Reddit says, "Man, this looks so sad, Lamo."
I saw the manga. I don't know. Manga's real good. You should check it out. You don't need to care about us.
It is.
Kaun bola sad?
Economy ad 5398. I think this is the guy from the
The
last time
economy
as well.
ad 5. Wow, that's such a creative name. Holy shit. Like, could you please lend some creativity to us? Sid is just like,
What is it?
oh my. But yeah, so basically what happens is he has different, like, all his old bodies, like all the people he's gotten along the way, he has them put in different positions of the city so they can quickly teleport there if something happens. But March's body gets separated from the city, and March's spirit enters it, and she starts walking around the city trying to figure out where Fuchi is. And he sees her handprint which says March is fine. Okay, that one, he sees that on the wall, and he's like, fucking flashbacks. He's like, holy shit. And he goes to Bonji and he's like, listen, are you not telling me something? And that's when this guy's like, yeah, you can bring back the dead, no biggie, but you can like kind of immortalize people forever. And then they start launching this whole kamikaze attack.
Interesting. Wait, but after Fushi is gone, will they still be immortal?
No. They will still age like normal humans, and they can still die. It's just that they can be brought back in that body.
And
So if they're-
Fushi can just
if
make
they're
like a
like-
new husk
If
every
it's like
time they
one
just
day
die.
before death, they can like be brought
Yeah,
back.
you
and
can
die the next
technically,
day
yeah.
again. I see.
I'll tell you what happens there as
Doesn't
well.
make sense, but I
No,
see.
so basically, it's just that as long as it's the same body that has been made from Fushi's memory, as long as the genetics match, as long as everything is right, all the cells are proper, the spirit can go back
And
into the
soul-
body.
Okay, the spirit.
Yeah, the
is
spirit
around
has to
it.
be around. If the spirit has gone, body is useless. It's just a dead husk.
Wait, but the spirit is the people themselves deciding.
They have to stay. Yeah, they have to decide to stay.
What they say.
And here's the fun part. This is revealed later, but you know,
So Machi decided to stay.
yeah, she decided to stay. They all decide to stay so that they can look after Fushi.
Ooh, that's getting.
And
too
here's the
emotional.
thing. So, Bonchain, he's supposed to be like, everyone was like, how the fuck did you find Fushi? Like, everybody has been looking for him and nobody's found him. And you found him. So he finds him because Tonari has been talking to him before she dies. And she tells him, look for a man who looks very young but has a giant shadow. And then this guy's just sitting and looking at Fushi. Fushi walked by And behind him is every soul that he ever met whose life is impacted. And Tonari is just looking at Bond, and she's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Holy shit, this is how I know it's you."
Okay, hell.
That's crazy, dude. That's pretty cool. Holy shit.
So he literally revives everybody after a point.
Damn. And it still hasn't ended where you are.
No, it still hasn't ended, but I'm not sure if you like the way it goes. So basically, here is Fushi towards the end of this whole thing. He sits and he spreads his roots around the world, killing all the knockers. Okay, and he creates a giant tree, the tree of Rendril or something. And he is an old man, as you can see here. That's him. He's old as shit.
Oh, what the fuck?
So everybody around him dies a normal human death. And they all wait, okay, because Fushi tells them, I am going to make sure the knockers are out of this world, and I will bring you all back into a peaceful world. We will all live there in peace. So this is literally Fushi by the time he finishes that.
He makes like a tree of life.
Yeah, he makes a tree of life thing, and he's the life behind it.
That's beautiful.
And then he like literally brings everyone back immediately afterwards into the new world.
Damn.
Okay.
Dude, this drawing is so fucking beautiful. Wow.
Except the problem is he didn't bring them back to where he was. He brought them back to where they died. So they're all like in different parts of the world, and they're all confused as shit. And everybody around them is like, "Who the fuck are you? Where did you come from?"
Oh yeah, that's. Oof,
Yeah,
that's
and then he immediately goes back to his old form.
Damn.
So Fushi basically.
He goes back to the orb.
No, not the orb. He goes back to his human form, basically.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. He actually does become an orb at one point because the knockers like steal all his forms. Okay, he's an orb. And then Gonshin is like, we are fucked. What the fuck do we do? We are so fucked. So he takes a sword, stabs himself in the heart, gives his body to Fushi so that he has something to do. And the others are like, yo, bring this guy back to life. We need him. We fucking need him. And Fushi can start seeing spirits after that.
Big brain strat.
Holy shit. That is insane.
And you know,
man, this takes a fucking.
And here's the thing. You know who steals all of Fushi's forms finally? Kohaku, the one with the knocker, the Hayase's descendant. The knocker goes crazy and steals all of Fushi's forms. And to make sure that he could pay him back for that, Kohaku goes into that the church cleric. He goes after him. It leads him into a broiler room basically, and then commits seppuku there, and then takes everyone out with him. So he creates a huge explosion, cursing an entire city and giving all those forms and life source to Fushi basically.
Fucking insane. Dude, I just heard from you, and it's a beautiful story.
Like you think it's just some random crazy woman, and then it turns out to be generations long.
Yeah.
It seemed
even the way you describe like what happens, like he kills himself, it sounds like a really enjoyable, like even after you told me, I still
read it,
watch it and experience it.
You can only read it. You can't watch that part, unfortunately. But it's insane. That part was like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, Fushi, kill me. I need to go over there. Fushi, I'm killing myself. I need to go over there. And Fushi's like, yep, send you over there. Yep, send you over there. Okay, bring you back here. Send you there.
Season one seems very like. And a slow or tame in
comparison. Shit hits the fan after season 1 for sure.
Literally controlling kingdoms on the fucking world. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then he gets there is I'm pretty sure I have the photo here. Yeah, here you go. So the man in black shows up to him. Okay. So the problem is now Fushi has spread roots all around the world. Now he's permanently attached to them through his arm, and the man in black is like, detach it. It's okay. You earned yourself a break. You know. You have done what I asked you to do, and you earn yourself a break. And then he gives him the power of reconnection. So basically he can break that connection to the earth and then reconnect himself whenever he wants to see if everything is okay. So he can sense everything that his roots touch.
Oh.
But what the man in black doesn't tell him is that the man in black, loses his power once he gives the power of reconnection to Fushi, thereby passing on the role.
So he will become the man.
Technically, but he's still not complete enough. So the man in black is reborn as a small child, and he will live his life as a human and die and never be reborn.
Damn, son.
I know, right?
That's sick.
And there's also this
Fushi? The man in black.
I'll explain that. Hold on. there's still more mystery, but I'll explain it. So here is I just put this funny thing here because Bonchain like gets up and he's in like his sarcophagus, and this guy, the police in the museum are like, oh, who the fuck are you? How did you get inside the tomb? And then they're like trying to shoot him, and this guy's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Why am I in a tomb? What's I'm gonna die? And it's insane.
He seems like a fun.
Yeah, he's a very fun
though.
character. That is true. And then you see this one character as Fushi comes back to life saying, I want to die. And when I read it, I was like, can relate. Yes. But turns out I can relate to the character a little too much after a point. Wait, I'll just wait for the stream to load in. I will tell you why. So she says, I want to die. And then there's a little bit of extra latency in the stream today. It's really annoying me because all the pictures aren't loading fast enough.
Yes. Shout out to our audio
Oh,
listeners.
yeah, of course.
Come watch
Yeah,
our YouTube
please
if
watch
you
our
wanna see
YouTube.
pictures.
So basically, she says it's so itchy while scratching her left hand, implying that there is something there. And then, basically, we are in this world where this girl is called Mizuha. She's the 18th successor of the Hayase family. 18th.
Oh my
And
God.
the guy on the left, it should be, the guy on the left of her in the panel is the guy that Fushi lives with, technically. He rebuilds the house for them, and then he gets his entire crew there, and they're all staying there together.
My God.
So now the story goes another level. I was like, oh my God, you brought it to the modern world. I hate it already. But they changed it. So the knockers originally wanted to free humans from their body and have them at peace because they did not like the fact that humans were suffering. They felt like suffering equals bad. So dead human cannot suffer equals good. But now they've chosen coexistence with humans, and they take over the bodies of humans who want to die. So suicidal humans, when they kill themselves, are taken over by knockers, and the knockers live out their life as human.
Holy shit. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. And Mizuha doesn't know she's the 18th successor because her mother refused to let her get into this whole system of, successor and this thing and all that. And she keeps her away from her grandfather. I'll just show you the image just a bit. But basically what happens is her grandfather wants her to become the 18th successor. And her mom is like, no, fuck off, my daughter, my rules. But then she ends up being so controlling that Mizuha is drawn to Fushi naturally. And the knocker in her makes her kill her mother. Yeah.
What?
So the knocker takes control of her body and she kills her mother. And then another knocker takes over her mother's body. So they live as a family.
Interesting.
But the mother is actually fake. And she likes the fake mother more than the real mother.
What the
So it goes into like dark territories. Like this little girl. So this is
That's fucking dark. Like you're literally living with
Yeah,
a zombie,
basically.
the zombie of your mother.
who you
Holy
killed, by
shit.
the way. So the other thing is like there's this guy, okay? His dad marries another woman, and that woman has a little girl, and he has he's one of those sister complex freaks, okay? So he's like, oh my God, you have to call me Oni-can and all that shit.
Fucking
And what happens is he's like, something's wrong with this kid. Turns out the mother neglected and abused the kid so much before marrying this guy that the kid throws herself off the school roof and she dies, and a knocker takes over her body. And everyone thinks it's normal that she's become more cheerful and all that, except this guy with the sister complex, because he's been stalking her for so long. He's like, something seems off. She's too happy. I liked it more when she was shy and she was like, oh, I don't want to say anything.
His story is going through another fucking
Yeah, it
level.
goes it
What
goes
the
into like
fuck?
crazy fucking levels, that's for sure. And also Bond before he dies, right? He sets up a foundation that has one job, to take care of them when they're revived. Okay. So they basically have a fuck ton of money. I don't know how they get the money, but this is the whole gang when they're revived.
He can probably make
No,
money.
Fushi can, but then they stop him from making it because
Yeah.
it'll cause inflation apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Fucking
But this is basically the whole gang. They've all been taken from different places. Okay. And the first thing that one guy does is punch the shit out of him because Fushi's like, hey, how are you? And he's like, you fucker, you brought us out in the middle of nowhere, and then you're asking how we are. You know how hard it was for us to live. And Tonari becomes a kid because she's like, I wish I could have my youth.
Oh. Wow.
And then they're actually like going to school and shit, and there are more knockers there, and they find the man in black is actually this little child, and this child is like, the knockers won, they chose coexistence, they're not harming anyone, we can't kill them anymore. And basically everyone is trying to kill him because he's Fushi's creator, so they're like, we need to get rid of him first. And one knocker with a human body like legit takes a giant ass katana and tries to slash him in his sleep. He turns around, does this, like he holds out his finger. The person stops in midair, and then he's like, go home. And then he doesn't even touch her. The knocker's soul just gets evaporated and flies off into heaven.
Holy shit.
The fuck?
It's a fucking wild story, I'm telling you. Like, insanely wild story. What you see at the start is nothing compared to what happens later.
Nothing. And it's good. It's fun. It's like it's an amazing story based on what
and
you said.
I have told you guys like just the main key points from like a lot of things. There's a lot of emotional scenes. There's a lot of scenes where you're like, what the fuck is going on? There are a lot of scenes where a lot of things are explained much more in depth, much better than I can do. But for your original question, Fushi is basically a being that was created by the man in black to replace him. So the man in black spread his roots around the entire world. That's how he knew where the knockers were. Because if you know, he tells Fushi like, knockers are coming. There's a knocker coming here. There's a knocker coming there and all that. So he realized that by spreading his roots. So he passes it on to Fushi because the man in black is going to die eventually. So he makes Fushi his successor. But Fushi is not at that level yet. But what happens is the knockers become smarter and they make themselves smaller and smaller. So they keep getting massacred by Fushi with the roots, and they keep getting smaller and smaller until they're like microscopic levels, and they can't detect him. They can't detect the knockers using roots anymore. So there's like a ton of shit that goes around which actually keeps changing things.
Damn.
Heavily emotional, very mind fucking.
Yeah. Dude, I already
took
got emotional at the Machi death, so I was already...
Dude, the thing is that
Because
March
0
is
to
like
100.
running around the entire battlefield, and Fushi is like warring everywhere, and then he just stops and sees one handprint on a wall, and he's like, what the fuck is that? It's insane.
I can imagine.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, Meltmore on Reddit says, you dudes are so cool. No jokes. I would love to sit down and smoke a J with you guys.
Hey,
Love
we
you
would
bits.
love to
Thank you for
too.
sharing
Glad
your
you could
lessons.
join us.
Yes.
Meltmore also gave us the Love and the Starstruck
Thank you.
Award.
Thank you.
so
We
much.
appreciate it. Hope you can join us next time as well.
Yes, join us next time. But dude, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, read the manga. It is
watching it.
well drawn. And
I will.
oh
It
my
is,
god, the freaking kamikaze scene is just insane.
Dude,
The
what a-
kamikaze scene where everyone is just suicide bombing themselves.
Dude, what a well planned.
Yeah, very well planned.
Like to go to such insane levels.
So-
Like she's done a really
So the
great
thing is,
job.
like
Holy
now
shit.
it's become a point where Fushi is like, our knocker's bad because a little girl killed herself, and the knocker is helping her live her life and keeping the rest of her loved ones at peace while the soul can just go. So our knocker's bad, and everyone's like, yeah, they're taking over the human body. That's not good. But he's like, but they want to die. Why would you want to die in a
But
world
those
like
people are
this?
technically like dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like so many things. And then Fushi is immortal, so he's looking around at everybody and he looks at himself. He's like, I'm going to be alone at the end of this. And then he's like, guys, I will keep reviving you. Please live with me. And everyone's like, Fushi, bro, ain't happening. We ain't immortal. You are.
Oof, that's fucking.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of the times he just comes face to face with the fact that, okay, I will be alone in the end. And there's even this time where he's sitting with other people who have access to the paper where he's written all the names, and they're reading out the names to him after one day of war. And then they're like, Mart, and he's like, and you're like, fuck, he forgot all these people. All these people are people he forgot.
That must fucking hurt. That must fucking hurt. Hey, but like, do you think Fushi will also go on to create? And does he have the ability?
Not yet. Not yet.
Replace.
It might happen, yeah.
Like,
I think that would be a good end for the manga if Fushi creates the next Fushi, so to speak.
Oh, what a beautiful fucking story.
It is insane. Like, I was like, okay, you know what? The anime was good. Let me just read a few chapters of the manga so that I can be like, I'll just see. Finished it in a night. I just binge read. Not even a night. Like, I started it. Like 2 days before the podcast was supposed to be. I started the anime.
Wait,
Okay.
You bought like the whole box
Yeah,
set, like,
I bought it, dude. The Shonen Jump app, you know.
Yeah.
Is it by Shonen Jump? I don't know.
I don't
Oh,
think so.
Kodansha app, you
I
know.
don't know.
Let's just say yes for now. Yes.
I don't know. I'm just saying it. But yeah, basically, I watched the anime. I watched it in a few hours, but I just kept it playing non-stop because it was fun. And then I was like, I'm going to read a bit of the manga before the podcast. And then I started reading it, and I was like, I am going to finish this manga before the podcast. I don't care if God himself comes down and tries to smite me. I will finish this fucking manga before the podcast. So on that day, I was ready. On that day, I was ready to discuss this whole thing.
I remember you messaged us. You were like, "Yo, I'm done. I finished the
Yeah, I was done.
I was like, "Holy shit!" And wait, how many chapters did you read? Like,
I don't even remember how many chapters it is.
You were just all night flipping pages.
It wasn't even the night. From afternoon to the evening, I finished it before the podcast time.
Oh my
By
God.
8:30, I was done.
You must have gone through a fucking crazy emotional
Yeah,
journey.
I was like, what the fuck? And the thing is, like, each time I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, okay, I need to know what happens next, right? Like, what the fuck is going on next? I need to really
You
fucking
can't just
know.
leave it at that. You can't leave it at the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
The last manga I read that like blew my fucking mind was Berserk. Is this the one after this for you? That
Yeah,
blew your
definitely.
mind?
Probably.
I would say Dr. Stone
Yeah.
also. I would love it. Okay, so it says it has 153 chapters, but a lot of them have like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So I'm not sure how many it is entirely.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, like this one and Dr. Stone have like really impressed me.
Dr. Stone impressed. I wasn't that impressed by Dr. Stone, but I
Yeah,
stopped
that's what I'm
because they were
saying.
just
You need to
inventing shit.
watch the rest of it. Dr. Stone has gone insane with its story.
Dude, but they were just inventing shit, and I was like, "Can you do something?"
Yeah, they keep
else?
inventing shit still. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how many chapters this has. It just says 153 total.
Okay.
Yeah, they do keep inventing things in Doctor Stone, but the inventions gets like much crazier, and you have a lot of new characters, you have a lot of new lore, which really impressed me overall.
Yeah, but you describing Dr. Stone and like To Eternity, like To Eternity sounds way.
Yeah,
fucking
Pure
better.
Eternity is very fucking good. It's amazing. 100%, 100%
Twist
fucking
in
check
every
out.
chapter, I must say.
What a fucking
Again, like, at the end of
hidden,
season 1
sneaky this thing, huh? It just sneaked
Yeah,
up
like
on us.
like can you imagine like the Bond is like, hey, a little woman who was gonna die told me to follow her spirit and find this guy, and then he finds him. He's like, okay, I have captured the devil, but he's not a devil. And then the church takes him by force and puts burning metal into him, and then he escapes. And this guy's like, motherfucker, what the fuck did I just see? What is this? I didn't expect. Why are you burning him? He's literally saving people's lives. And you see him burn, and you're like, he fucking died. I can't believe it. They killed a beautiful creature, and then he just like fucking comes out of them. Like it's actually like he goes through the metal, and it's like him reaching towards the sky. And everyone thinks he's dead because they pour water to cool down the metal. But there's one small hole that he just forms into a different creature and flies out of.
Oh my
Insane.
God,
Like the holy shit. Like you guys should just read the whole thing. It's a fucking
I
experience.
am going to. I am fucking because I'm already invested, like I said.
Yeah, and
I'm going slow.
also
so it'll
Sid,
take a while.
Parona dies, right? The woman with Mark. You know how she dies?
This is
Ayase explains it. She goes back to the village and Parona dies saving everybody, and she wants to torture her, okay? So she wonders whether she should go for the stomach to make her feel more pain or go for the head, and just because she couldn't stand her face, and she cuts off her head. So she decapitates her out of pure spite.
fuck.
And
My
and
God,
when she tells Fushi this, Fushi is literally in Parona's form, and he assumed that she died due to some other reason. So he gets like insanely angry, and you're like, oh my god, I can't fucking believe
my
it.
God.
Fuck.
fucking insane.
Like she lived that long, saves March dies, and then she goes back with regret just to be slaughtered with the rest of the village.
That is sad.
Insane.
Lots of sad
Fucking
stories.
insane.
Oh my god, what a fucking story! Wow.
Sid, if you find more stories like this, I am game. I will read all of them.
I will see. It depends on like, dude. And do you remember I've been telling you to like read this for like
Yeah.
a long fucking time? It's been on your list, right? We read it out also in one of our like seasonal
Yeah.
this thing, right? Remember the boy who turns and we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, okay, listen. I'm telling you, those some guys who write the freaking synopsis don't deserve jobs, dude. Some people need raises, but some other guys do not deserve those jobs.
Oh my god.
God damn it. They're like, oh, an orb becomes sentient. I'm like, oh, that's like nothing. That's like the first 2 seconds of the story.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, honest take it is just
Yeah, it gives you no idea about the level
Yeah.
it's gonna get to for sure.
my God.
But yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, you should make some last take on
I
it
know,
if you
right?
wanna.
It's pure like you feel so bad, and then you start like thinking about what you're doing in life, because there's like an eternal creature over there who's like wondering what is going to happen to the lives around of the people
Yeah,
around him, and you're
exactly.
like, I'm going to die someday. What am I doing? I just binge read a
and all
manga in
these-
one day.
And all these other lives of people like that are like long lives seem like
Yeah.
minuscule compared to him, right? They're like, wait, my life is like nothing,
Yeah,
like just a small
basically.
story. It's fucking crazy. Yeah.
but it also
Oh my God.
at,
Body is
Done.
depressed now. Yeah, he's
but
fucking
also at the same time it also kind of so what happens, I'll just tell you a couple of small things to just end it off. The story also tells you that you can be remembered for a long time, because not only does Fushi have these forms of everybody he's met, of everybody's impact,
Yes, yes.
they follow him as spirit, right? So it's like they are still with him,
Yeah.
even though they are gone. So even if you don't take that as a literal sense, metaphorically, that is how it works with us in life as well. Someone dies, we still have memories of them, which is all.
Yes, they still live on.
Which is like that
basically,
famous One Piece line where a man doesn't die when he eats a poison mushroom; he dies when he's forgotten. Dr. Hilbrook.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing is, like, for Gugu, for example, okay, because they think he's dead, that Rian never remarries, and she and Gugu's brother make like an entire freaking celebration in their world for Gugu. So there are people wearing Gugu masks running around, and Gugu's like,
Oh my God,
yo, what
that's
event are we at? And they're like, what? You're cosplaying as Gugu and you don't know that? Right?
I'm literally getting goosebumps as you're
Yeah,
saying
so
this
so
shit.
like each person makes sure that the people are remembered in some way. Like Tonari writes like huge, like volumes of books about Fushi, trying to tell the world how good he is, and this is distributed to everybody. Somebody finds one copy and then they distribute it, and then Tonari writes another book before she dies. So it's like these things, your essence can always be passed down in some way. So it also gives you hope. It's not just like, yeah, you're gonna die. Your life is but a dot on a long line. It's like, hey, maybe that dot goes on for a couple of more dots. Like imagine if like we spend our lives doing this podcast and we have like 5 viewers, and then 2,000 years in the future, somebody's like, what did these old cavemen listen to? And they find this and they're like,
Yeah, what are these?
God fucking damn it, these guys.
We fucking come back to life and
Oh,
see
yeah,
us
we'll
on like the
pop
big
off
screen.
We'll pop off a century
A
after.
a couple of millennia. Like, one kid, one 11-year-old kid will be like, 80-inch 20K TV, and they'll be like, what is this resolution? But damn, these guys interesting. I must read this.
Hello,
I must read
people
this
from
manga.
6022.
They were doing Weeb101 cosplays.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Like, damn, your brew cosplay isn't good. Your ball spot isn't big enough. Your Sid
Yes,
cosplay isn't good. You're not drunk enough.
You don't know what the... But yeah, dude, that's amazing. Also, before we of course, or do you have anything to say before?
Adi looks done
No,
with
I
life
tried,
right
but
now. He's like, fuck these guys.
Yeah,
I'm so
I
I
tired.
tried saying a multitude of things, but Brew had his own nice little monologue.
Or are
going
you
on here,
gonna
and that was good.
continue reading it? Because I
Probably I'm
definitely.
gonna. It sounds like I was trying to say earlier. Sounds like it had a really slow arc in the beginning, but then took a fucking 180 turn for the fucking sky over there,
Yeah.
the power level. So I figured, yeah, probably
Again,
going to continue. Probably going to finish off the manga in one night, just
Yeah,
like Bruce
really.
Lee.
I mean, definitely.
okay,
Holy
well,
shit, it's so
the
good.
night is the night. Yeah.
Mm.
And,
By the way, Adi,
yeah,
chapter
I didn't
54 or 55 is exactly where the manga, where the anime ends. Like, literally, the chapter literally ends the same way with Fushi being grown up and killing a knocker, and he's like, haha.
Mm.
They even have a recipe for dried knocker or something, because Fushi, like, dries them out, salts them, and then eats them.
Oh my god.
see.
Yeah, it's weird.
Improvising.
I wasn't there for the last two Weeb101s, right? So can you all quickly tell me, like, what did you all think of Super Crooks and Spike's family?
Both of us were,
have
like,
no clue.
complaining about Super Crooks, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
like it at all, by the way.
Tons of inconsistencies
It
with the
was so
characters. Like,
shit. Yeah.
I don't know about animation style or not, but then there were there were a ton of things wrong with the heroes itself.
Yeah,
Forget
the dude,
crooks.
what's his name?
The heroes.
I know, Rubberball is one, like, weak ass. The Praetorian, yes.
What was it?
Dude, Praetorian literally copies other people's moves. Like, did you see Praetorian copies like other? Like, I haven't looked into it, but
No, he doesn't just copy other people's moves. He gains a move every single day, and
No, I know that
he can choose one random move from.
He's like a Togepi,
Basically. Also, Sid, I didn't finish it, but apparently the Praetorian gets taken to court and he escapes 57 counts of abuse of authority. And then his own teammates bring out more evidence and put him behind bars.
No, but
Yeah.
But also the Praetorian, did you see, like, he did the fireball jutsu, one of the moves, he did the instantaneous transmission, right? He did Chun-Li's like butterfly kick.
He's basically like, let's take the most OP moves around and then done.
Yeah. He went full KOK and also like the vanishing and hitting.
And the time stopping.
Like, yeah. I didn't like Super Crooks at all. And I have no idea about Spike's family.
Spike's family was really fun. Audi didn't read it at all, but I finished it, so.
I thought you said Audi.
Hey, what? Shut up!
Okay, that's what you mean.
Okay, Audi did finish it. I didn't. But I read a few chapters right before the podcast and it seems fun. Audi said it was fun.
Audi, you enjoyed it all?
Seems fun.
It's a gag manga.
It's supposed to be like a gag action manga, and you need like context in order to understand the jokes.
I was talking about. I was telling Audi the way he described it. It seemed a lot like early Hitman Reborn, which was very fun.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And I told Audi to check out Reborn. He still hasn't done it, fucker.
Hey, Audi, check out Reborn. We can do Reborn.
Oh my god, holy shit. I will literally be talking about Reborn for so long. The episode will not fucking end. It will not fucking end.
Yeah.
What?
We should be doing an episode on Ippo.
Oh no, Ippo is like, it's going to be our last episode.
Ippo.
I see.
Ippo needs to end before we talk about it.
Ippo
is never going to fucking end.
It will go on forever, dude.
Yeah.
When we talk about Ippo, it will go on forever.
Hey, George Morikawa
as slow as it may be,
he's not doing so hot. Old Georgie boy is a little sick. Hopefully he'll live on for a long time, but we have to prepare for the worst, like Miura.
Did we do Kingdom?
Yeah? No? Yeah?
No,
Maybe.
we haven't done. No, we
remember.
haven't done it yet. Even
This is actually the first time in a long time we've talked only about one series. And still gone 1 hour 30
Normally
minutes.
we do like a multitude of topics.
But next week we'll be back with our usual like big if news and everything else. So don't worry, guys.
And this Friday, tomorrow we'll be doing. Don't look up. Yeah.
Right?
Tomorrow
we'll be doing
tomorrow 2 hours from now, like 2 hours away from now.
Yes.
But right now it's 12 o'clock for us, 2 hours before 10 o'clock for us, so just subtract it according, I don't know.
Yes, just
22 hours from now. But yes, thank you all for joining. We had a blast.
Thank you.
I blew their minds with like the weirdest things ever. I didn't think you guys would.
You blew your own mind.
But that's it for this episode. We should see you tomorrow. Hope you can join us. And thank you all for participating in chat and saying your kind
you
things.
so
And
much.
thank you, Reddit, for
Lovely,
not being
lovely, Reddit.
openly racist for once.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes.
We instead got an Indian guy who was just
I
shitting on us for
appreciate- yeah.
no reason in particular.
See you. Bye bye.
Fucking Indians.
See ya.
Bye.